Happy Thursday, everybody. Hello, welcome to Launch Lab. Hello, hello. I am so glad that everyone is on time and even early. I am an early girl. Let's jump in the chat. Let's say hello. We've got lots to cover, lots of excitement for you. Sherry is here. Happy Thursday. Yes, group number 3. Yes, welcome, welcome. Julie is here. Hello. We are all having, and I hope everyone is having a good week. Nicholas Infante is here. Welcome to Launch Lab. Yes, Amy Martin, good to see you, my dear. Yeah, bracing for a huge winter storm this weekend. Yikers. Well, at least we know that the spring is coming, but be safe. Jake is here from New York City. Welcome. Kelly from Los Angeles. Caroline from Georgia. Arline from New York City. Lisa's here. Hello. I love that energy. Melinda's here from North Carolina. Amy's here from Anaheim. Hope is here. Hello, Hope. Yeah. Hopefully there's going to be a couple things happening in the Seattle area, but yes, welcome guys. Yeah, you keep coming in here. So welcome everyone to Launch Lab. Let's do this. So let's take a deep breath. Let's get settled in. It's really exciting because you are all doing lots of great things. And I want to remind us, we have 3 beautiful groups now. So we're going to share what each one is doing. But before we do that, just take a minute to take a deep breath and get grounded. If you are like me, it's 3 p.m. on the East Coast. It's been a busy day, right? Lots going on. So let's get grounded in the moment, connecting back to the being, right? Connecting back to, yeah, Leanne, Veronica, Mary Alice, good to see you all. Connecting to why we're here. Because this is the fulfillment, this is the path, this is the truth, right? Where your heart is calling you. And that's where it's such a magical thing. When we start to follow that, life starts to really change. So just join me in taking a deep breath through your nose, out through your mouth, and getting grounded, going to the heart center. Having so much gratitude again for the magic of this moment. This is such an incredible opportunity at this moment in this world, in this thing called humanity, to not only be part of a shift, but to create helping to make it by leading the way. So we want to sink into gratitude and to heart. I'm going to remind us where all the groups are and what the tasks for this week were for each one of you, so that we can laser into what is needed. Group number 1, week number 10. It's incredible the work that you have all done. Week number 2, group number 2, I'm sorry, you're at week number 6. Group number 3, congratulations, you are at week number 2. That's amazing. So one of the things that I want to really reinforce, and I'm going to be doing this each and every time because I think it's extremely helpful to remember, is that this is about progress, not perfection. And I also want to give you a hack that I've used, two things. So if you want to write these down, I think this is going to be very helpful for you. Number 1, I use a 75-80% rule. And what is that? That means that if I need to do something and we all think, it's got to be perfect, it's the copy of everything, I give myself a 75 to 80% rule where I say, Suzanne, if you get it to 75 to 80%, the way that you wanted, it's a win. So I give myself all that grace. What that does is it's an ego hack. So I get out of my head, I get on the paper, I get starting to do it. And all of a sudden you've gotten probably more than 75%, right? But what perfection keeps us paralyzed. So I'm not ready. I can't send that email because it's not going to be perfect, like all the things. So give yourself a 75, 80% hack, because this is how you trip up that blocker. And the other one is time blocking. So write that down. I want you to take your calendar and I want you to even just do it for one day. And what is the time you're actually going to do a task? So if you have whatever you have your task list for the week, I want you to take your calendar and say, okay, where am I going to write the email? Where am I going to send the emails? Where am I going to make the phone calls? I want you to actually put a block in your calendar that is the time, because you know as well as I do, it doesn't always magically happen. So this is the time that I've blocked off, that no one's bothering me, that no interruptions, and I'm going to sit down and get that done. And now you use your 75, 80% hack and you've got to win, because here's what really makes things happen. If you simply just keep moving forward and you trust the process. I promise you that. So these are really powerful business strategies that work. They work. So you want to get out of your head into your heart, time block 75%, 80, and trust this process. I don't think I've ever seen a more detailed, outlined step-by-step process for something. We've given you everything that we've been using for years that works, that our doulas are using to have incredible impact and income. We've step-by-step laid it out for you. All you have to do is follow it, refine it. If it doesn't get the results you want the first time, by the way, that's very natural. Visit it. Is it the wrong place that you're serving in? Are you speaking to the person that's showing up? Are you speaking their language? Are you directing it a little bit differently? Are you positioning are you letting people know about the support that you provide? So you always want to revisit and refine. So the path to practice works if you just follow the steps and work it. And that's what we're here for. So I want to just go over the different groups and what the task lists were for this week, but we can talk about anything and remind you what Launch Lab is for. It's for coaching you and busting through any questions you have. Don't sit on it. If you're having struggles with something, this is where I'm struggling. This is where I need clarity, and let's laser focus right into it so you can keep moving forward, right? That's what we're here for. Okay. So group number 3, you're at week number 2. Congratulations. That's amazing. You are to write your short bio this week, a 1 to 2 sentence description of how you help, who you are, choose a warm introduction photo, draft a host outreach email. By the way, we have all those templates for you. Create a 30-second elevator introduction, list 5 to 10 potential hosts, contact 2 to 3 hosts, and that was your task list. So I'm just going to stick to the business part, not your certified end-of-life doula training. Group number 2, you're at week number 6. That's so exciting, filling the cafe. And this is where the magic does happen, by the way. I used to think whoever said build it and they will come. That's not correct. I mean, I understand that, I thought that in the very beginning. I thought, oh, and I'll put it up once on Facebook, and if they want to come, they'll find it. And that's not how it works, but it's okay. This is how we learn things. But congratulations, because this really is where the magic happens and also where a lot of the fun is. So you are filling your cafe. And this is where we want to get creative. You were to send out 10 personalized invitations. By the way, you copy and paste and then just make a separate introduction for the name. It's not reinventing it every single time. You ask partners to share the event, post 3 social media reminders, and ask venues hosts to promote this event as well, is what you should have done when you are making that connection with them. That should be the agreement. By the way, I'm in this exact stage that you're in group 2, week 6, with the World Training Day, Death Doula World Training Day, contacting partners, asking them to share. So it's so interesting how I still do the same business steps that I'm teaching you at a different level, but it doesn't just happen by itself. I need to get on the computer, send out my emails, connect with people, ask them if they'll share the event. So I want you to know that this is exactly how it works. And group number 1. So this is where you are so close to the end of the finish line here in this first 90-day path that you're in that follow-up stage. So you want to write thank yous and have surveys for your level 1s and the PMP reminder. So the peace of mind planner, that gentle invitation reminder. No show up follow. So when people register, if they didn't come, tell them any aha moment you had at those events, when the next event is going to be. And again, everything that you want them to know about the PMP. You're going to update the PMP tracker. You have a tracker, again, who was interested at your events, who said that they were interested. Did you follow up with them? Are they booked? You delivered a real or practice level 1 peace of mind planner, the quality of life. You watch the PMP training videos because now you have a step-by-step 8 mini trainings on how to do that. And again, you scheduled your weekly follow-up block. You confirmed your cafe number 2 date and promotion plan, which you're going to rinse and repeat. So this is not, once you do many of these things first, they are the gift that keeps on giving. And this is really important. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and answer questions. You can go ahead and write it in the chat, or you can come on live by raising your hands. I want you to know that this is the place to ask all of your questions for clarity and to get your answers where you need to go. And again, if I may, I still do this. I belong to a high level business group so that I can get immediate access to a question that I may have or learn a tool. And so this is how we collapse decades into days. Amy Martin, come on in.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So I have a question. I haven't really heard it talked about much. I know with getting our business started, you mentioned, we don't need to spend a lot of money. We don't need a website and so forth. I was approached by a friend this morning. She's actually a longtime friend and hairdresser of mine. And she has an opportunity to rent the space in another part of the building, which used to be a medical office. And so I've been kind of thinking of, I'm also offering other services besides the doula, but I've been like, are we the majority of the time going to meet in people's homes as far as like the PMP? Um, this opportunity is amazing because there's going to be other people down there. She wants to also provide like wigs for people with cancer and massage therapy. So all of us can kind of work together with our spaces down there. Um, as far as is it worth it? It's $400 a month. I'm probably only going to be starting out the doula work part-time because I also have a cleaning business. But I'm also finding that the new clients that I'm taking on with that have health issues or they have cancer. So I can kind of work my doula work into there. So I don't know if that's worth the investment. The location, everything just seems to feel right, but as far as is that a lot of money to invest when maybe people would rather have me meet in their home? I don't know.
All right. So let's break it down because this is so exciting. So, all
Yeah.
right. So the one thing I'm going to tell each and every one of you is what does your heart say? So what is your first instinct? And I know you kind of just said that, Amy,
Yeah.
because I want you to know that that is always your diagnostic. I'm telling you, because if we start doing checks and balances, we start spinning all around and we don't even know where we started. Now, there are some practical questions that I do want to ask you. But it
Yes.
sounds super exciting. And you kind of said it yourself. You're like, it all feels really good. And also those other modalities all really align. Couple of questions. Number one, is there a space for you to do small workshops in there? Number two, is there a private area that you can do the PMPs in there?
So I will get my own small office. It's not huge. I figure I can probably fit a small table in there with, two chairs and me on the other side. There is not a space for like a conference room or anything, but the waiting room and everything is much, much bigger. I thought, oh, can't we just break some walls, But yeah.
Well, hold on a minute. But why can't you at night or on a
Oh,
weekend, if it's not open, use that waiting room, put the chairs in a circle, and there you've got
okay.
your workshop?
Okay. Yeah. It's a huge waiting room. Great idea. So
Because I'm
I
going to
will.
say
Mhm.
if that's the case, I mean, it sounds very exciting. And the only reason I'm saying this is because you kind of said it yourself, because you're the only one that really knows with your, you know, inner radar how this is going. But you said, cancer and illness and like groups of people. But if you're looking for a space and you can do one-on-ones, and if you prefer like it and $400, yes, it's money, but it's not crazy money.
Right.
Um, and you kind of answered it, when you were explaining it yourself. So what do you think?
Yeah, and I've known her a long time and she said I want the rent to be reasonable because she says to rent a salon chair alone it's 675 and she says I have three other people that are just starting out like you and haven't built a clientele yet and she says I want to give you guys a chance and for all of us to kind of work together. So her heart is more into how I am rather than making money versus renting a space.
Yeah. I
So,
think,
yeah.
yeah, I think it's amazing. And I think you have an opportunity, all of you, to put those really beautiful services for everyone who comes in. So someone might come in for one service and say, oh, you offer like cross promotion. But
Yeah.
if you have a regular home that you can be doing regular community events and have that That's an absolute home run to me.
Yeah, I'm probably 20 seconds from the library, if that helps, from
Yeah,
space. So
yeah.
yeah, close by.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So she wouldn't be ready until June for us, which that's probably when I'm going to be ready with all this other stuff and get really up and going. So I said that's totally fine. So
And you
um
know what? And you know what's exciting about that, Amy, is that you can start announcing this and warming this up. Where like June, you guys are hot and ready to go. Like
yeah.
you're ready booking space in your office. Like that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to share, and if I wasn't thinking of something, but I love your idea of holding in the waiting area, when nobody else has people coming in. I love that. So
Mhm. Yeah, here's the thing that I'll say, and I know this for a lot of you on here, and those of you when you trust this process and you start stepping into it, like your opportunities that you didn't even see coming or that you thought about will start presenting themselves, and that's exactly how this beautiful alignment works. So, Amy, you're an example of that on a few levels, as some of many of you are, but that's really great. Keep us posted, but it just
yeah, I
sounds
will.
beautiful. All right,
Thank you.
congratulations. Yeah. Kelly,
Hi.
hi.
So I'm coming up against the same thing I've kind of been sharing about, and I don't know how to pivot. And that is that the resources that I'm reaching out to, like wills and estate trust planners, the people at the entertainment communities, retirement home, the synagogues, they all have um, advanced directives.
Mhm.
And last week we talked about that, quality of life aspect of it, but they all have that as well. And I sent over actually last week to support a sample of like the Cedar Sinai one that really does show the quality of life aspect of it in the advanced directive. But I'm basically just coming up against people already having this in place, and maybe it's my community, maybe that I'm reaching out to people who are already buttoned up, but I'm struggling to now find the aspect of that, like if I need to pivot to different communities or what to do.
Yeah. So, Kelly, I sent you a very thorough response to that. Did you not get
No.
that email?
No.
Okay. So we gave you a really thorough
Okay. I
response.
apologize.
No, no, no. It might
Yeah.
not be, it's not on you, and there's no apology needed. So I really want to flesh this out. So let's go over it now. We'll get you that because it's wonderful. So I did look at that, and I was very happy to see that they had probably one of the better documents that I've seen as far as asking things, but there's a few things. So one of the things that's so important is that we are not positioning this as a advanced directive. So there's a piece of that, but this is very, very different. You're also a consultant that's guiding that client through scenarios, answering their questions. That's very different. When they talk about quality of life, and I love that statement, quality of life, but there's so much more that's involved in that. The other thing is about life celebrations and disposition options. So those aren't there, but I made a suggestion to you, and this is for everyone else as well, is we don't know. We're living in a time that we've never seen before. And so for me, I'll use myself as an example, as I usually always do. I don't know what I'm going to need as I age, right? So I don't have a crystal ball, although sometimes I feel like we all think we do, right? Because we have that knowing, but we don't, right? So I don't know physically what I'm going to be like, cognitively what I'm going to be like, financially what I'm going to be like. I hope for the best. But because we're living so very long, you want to help people with aging well plan A, B, and C. And so, what this does, and again, because you're a full spectrum end of life consultant, you've been educated in all of these things, that you have the scenarios and the information for this aging well. So, giving you an example, Kelly, I'm speaking to, that's something you can add that's very, very different. In addition to the peace of mind plan, is creating best case scenario if somebody needed some form of support and if somebody has no family and no money and no resources. And that to me is so critically important, because when we don't know what we're going to be like, we've got it covered. So plan C may not, and usually is not, our first choice, right? That's our third choice. But if it comes where there's no, I need 24-hour care, I don't have any finances, like, what am I doing and where am I going? So I'll get you that email. I'm super sorry that you didn't get it, because we got that back to you, I think, on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. And it really does go in. So what I did was really take apart your advanced directive. But the first and foremost thing that I don't want you to be approaching people and saying, I do advanced directives. I want it to be a very different, because they're immediately going to shut down, say, we got it.
Yeah.
And they don't have the full spectrum. So yeah. So why don't we do that? Why don't you look at that, and then we can flush it out more if you need to, but I think you're going to see the clarity around it.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think what we're offering you is going to be such a great complement to what they're already doing. And that shows them that, yes, what a wonderful thing they're doing. And this is what I can add to it. So it's actually a great way in. Thanks.
Yeah, because I also thought I should reach out to divorce lawyers too, because I think the one area I am coming across are single people and what their plan is.
Yeah. So talk to me about that for a minute, because everything is feedback, everyone. I want you to all hear this. Every question you're getting is feedback on how to fine tune and maybe where your alignment is. And you're right about this.
Yeah. So I think, I'm single and I don't have children. And so there are a couple of people who are similar to me. I haven't reached out to many of those people. I find that is the one area where people may have it, but they actually haven't thought through what's going to happen. And that's exactly what brought me here, was being faced with what's going to happen to me.
Interesting.
And so I am now thinking of pivoting towards people who are alone, whether they have children or not, maybe even focusing a little on, this idea of villages, or how to support, maybe there are meetup groups or groups that people can just connect with, 10 groups to make sure everybody's okay, like wellness checks. Like, I know there's Life 360, but
oh no, this is great.
Like, if something happens in someone's home and they're alone with no kids, like, they could be there for a while. So
I love this. So let's workshop this. So I think you're right on track. Most of us are our avatar maybe 10 years ago, right? So like, you have a reason that brought you here, and that reason is your authentic truth. And so I think that's incredibly important to honor. There's such a need with people that live alone with aging. And this is why. And so I'm going to ask you a question. Have you thought about, or do you have a monthly space that you can now create as that hub? Hear me out. Bringing people together through education, conversation, because two things came up for me. Number one, healthcare proxy mixers. So for people who live alone, if they don't have a healthcare proxy, they don't have family, who can be, because we can have that network with each other, but also this ongoing support as far as who, as we age, we can know if they need support, and we can be there for each other, and like all the feel good of what community used to be. The more you niche down on something, and I know this sounds somewhat counterintuitive in the world of business, but this is how it works. The more you can niche down who your client and avatar is, the better you're going to do, especially when you're launching. Yeah. I love it. I think it's amazing. Do you have a monthly space that you're going to be on the regular doing a cafe?
I'm in the process right now. Like, I'm doing them on Zoom because of my job.
Okay.
But I was thinking, even if you go to, like 2 girlfriends that I have, and you support them in them creating a network of 10 of their friends.
Absolutely.
And then you go to someone else and you just sort of start creating these hubs of people that are just doing wellness checks,
Yeah.
Or some version of that, checking in on each other.
And also, how kind is that? Do you know? Okay, so for my aging, here's some of the most important things that we want to identify with the aging population: nutrition, isolation, and safety. Where in the world did we ever get to a place that we allow people to just be alone in a house by themselves without checking in? And again, yes, I'm sounding like I'm judgmental. I'm just baffled by this. And on top of that, some of them are a target for like scamming, like, which boggles my mind and just like infuriates me to no end. we need to bring back more community environment. And so, even going in and doing a round of meeting Mrs. Miller and bringing in coffee and a donut once a week to visit her is one of the sweetest, purest, most loving things, not only you can do for her, but for yourself. So again, bringing back that concept of community, taking care of community. I love this, Kelly. I also had a flash of almost like the Tupperware parties that you could be doing with singles, hey, these girls, get all your friends together. I'm going to come over in your living room because you are the one that had the spontaneous living room event, right? So especially because there is a very large population and that is a concern. Lots of people that I know in their 50s who don't have children are saying, who's going to care for us? What's going to happen here? I think you're onto something massive here.
Okay, cool.
I love it. Yeah. Keep me posted on that. So
yeah.
I'm going to make sure you get that email. I want you to respond to it because I want to help flush out if anything's not clear, but I think you're going to really love it. It's really good, but I love the direction you're going in. Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Let me check the chat. Don't be shy. I'll give us some prompting questions if we need to. Richard says the space can double. I love this. And by the way, it's a tax write-off. So like anything in your business, Richard says the space can double as an office space for billing, et cetera, for the cleaning business as well. Yep. Hope says it's a nice, clean tax deduction. Absolutely. Yeah. So especially when you're starting, I want to always make sure that we love to reinvest and not overextend. And again, I think websites, you can obviously do one, but I feel like there's things that are really important to support your business step by step. And there's things that are nice that you can have. And also there's no reason to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a website. And I don't even know how much websites today are the jam, but it's okay. There's different ways, but I love this space. Sounds really great. You've got a lot of love in the chat for you. They're really excited for you. Okay. And I love this. Mary Alice brought up a good point of co-working spaces. Yeah, here as well. So as long as it's somewhat reasonable and makes sense. And again, when we talk about having your monthly event or even supporting clients, always try and put yourself in their position. I know for me, you've got to really be offering a lot of value to pull me out at night. I'm just going to be very honest with you. I work so much, long days, all the things, love it so much. So if I'm going to go out at night, it's got to be close-ish. It's got to be something that's really going to give me value. Do you know what I mean? I want you to think the same way. People are not going to go out of their way to go to play. I promise you this. We've had this, and I've had I've done that mistake as well. Okay, come on in, Lisa. Group number 3, welcome. Just you click that red mic.
There we go. There we go. Hello. So I'm trying to take the hand down. There we go. I had a friend of mine who I haven't spoken with for years. We just went different directions. Nothing bad. He just turned up yesterday saying he's totally crazed. He's out of control. His mother is really sick. Something's going on with a dynamic between his father and his brother. Can we have a talk? He says, I know I can talk to you about it. I don't know why. I don't think we've talked for 4 or 5 years. Nothing wrong. We just went different ways. So my question is, my thought is to, of course, be a friend and just sit and listen. Should I bring up, what would you do with, I don't know, would you bring in any of these safety questions, ask them in certain ways, not talk about just see where it goes? I'm not really sure. I'm talking to him in another couple hours, so I thought I'd just get your thoughts.
Now, Lisa, what did we just say about the universe, right?
Yes.
Doing her thing. The minute we are okay, I'll do this work, they're okay, here you go.
Here's this guy.
I mean, it's just incredible how this energy, this beautiful energy works. So I love that. Now, does he have any idea of what you are doing, or just no? I love that.
Not at all.
Listening is one of the most important things we do and know how to do. And with that being said, letting him know that it's so interesting that you got in touch with me because I just started taking this course, and I'm taking this course and learning how to support people. So he knows that you have now some knowledge in this, but then listen to him. Yes, use your skills ask him again, really listen to what he needs, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, it's like being a little detective, taking all the information in so you can really see what's happening. But I always want to remind you that the 3 questions, what are the acute issues happening, right? So you named a few. So I think the mother is really sick?
Yes. I don't know what it is.
And there's dynamic with the family, because by the way, welcome to This Is How Like It Works, like everyone's stuff. And then he's overwhelmed. So immediately you've got acute issues that are right there, but then you want to, ask some questions, the support system, what's appropriate. And then of course you can come back to us and ask, hey, I have questions on this. How can I help him? But you can be such a great support to him. And this is such a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is no coincidence.
Yeah. So it's no. There's going to be quite the opposite. So when you start to step into the trust and the faith of your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be what you call synchronicities that are just matching the divine alignment of on your fulfilled path, which again, you're just like, wow, it's beautiful, because that's what we're here to do, is like to share our gifts and be of service. So let us know and reach out to support at Doula Givers at any time you have a question, and I'll get back to you with answers to guide. But very, very
Great.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Sherry, come on in and welcome. Group 3. Yeah, just click on your mic there. Just click on that. Yep, you got it. Hi.
I'm so excited to be here. I've gotten so much out of the program so far and have been working diligently, setting aside that study time and making lists of what I need to do and getting things done. And it's something I really needed to do because I was a little scattered before I decided to come here. And I really want to know a couple of things, but Kelly mentioned Life 360. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Kelly, do you want to pop back on and talk about Life 360? If you would be so kind.
Sure. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but I know that it's an app that you can connect with family members. So you can like follow them on their, you connect your phone and their phone. You can track them to know where they are. It can send health alerts if there's any emergencies. You can put in an emergency contact and it can match up with, new iPhones these days, if you can detect if you've fallen or if your heart rate slows down, or different scenarios. And so it's a good way to check in on family members or children and always stay connected.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kelly. I really feel like I always like to throw out the rule book, because I think that we have been taught so many of the wrong things and we need to restructure how we're doing this. And so when I'm thinking in terms of what I witness with people as they age, one of the hardest things ever is when they are unsafe, people who live alone, unsafe to live by themselves, and having to remove them from their home. In fact, you want to talk about kicking and screaming, and I get it. So for me, where did we ever get to a place that we have people living alone that we know eventually that may not be the option? Is there a possibility that there's an extension on, let's say, my sister's home, who has a big home in Boston, that she can put a granny pod on the outside? We'll talk about all these options that, so mom has some connection where she's not living on top of you, but you can check on her. And the same thing, it's like, that she's okay. She's got some interaction. And we never have to have her removed from her home. Do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like dialing it back, creating a new, and by the way, I think this is just the way it's moving towards community-based. By the way, that's the most beautiful thing, is community taking care of community, right? Supporting each other. We used to do that. You used to know who was on your block. When there was a crisis, people brought food and they reached out and they sent prayers and all that. But also for families, from a financial standpoint, and for multiple things that are happening, allowing our elders to age within a multi-generational home again of some sort, for many different reasons. And then the other thing is that elder never has to be removed from their house. there's many reasons that we can talk about this. Believe me, I know it's not easy. I know it's not ideal, but when you if you were someone who had a baby, you don't even think twice about not sleeping and taking care of them. And like and it's, again, it's really the same. I mean, I see people with their dogs, and I'm not saying anything negative, but the baby carriages that they're in, and they've got all and I love it. I'm just like, because the dogs are, I mean, the animals are the most amazing thing, but our elders are going to get to that space, and we want to have support for them as they age, so that we're doing it the right way. And I think we have to recreate and go back to some of the old ways of doing it. Granny pods, just a spoiler alert, if you're not there and you're training yet, are an incredible option. They're these small houses that hook up to a main house. And they have, when the feet hit the floor, you can know that mom's up. They have oxygen. They have nautical log cabins, beach house ways, and they're really affordable as opposed to a lot of other things. So there's a lot of options that we can help with families. Okay. Sherry, go ahead. What else would you like to share on that?
All right. I thank you for getting those answers to me. I just wanted to share that I found my name. I said it. I didn't set it up yet as an email because I'm trying. But you had talked earlier about not saying advanced directives, and I didn't have that, but I did plan on putting on my card that I do advanced planning. So really focusing on both aging well and also family support and education, as well as legacy and then end of life doula, because I think those are really important. And I know we're going to get to elder care, aren't we, down the road? And I'm a little concerned. I'm an elder. I may not look it, and I don't feel it, but I am. And I know that I have some restrictions that I wouldn't be able to help somebody physically, but I can be there for them. And I think that it's also important to know that people can do the Zoom every day, or there's different ways to talk to people face to face, Messenger. And I thought that was really important as well. But I'm very excited. My name is Soul Support.
Oh, love it.
And I'm really happy with today because I'm getting so many things to write down and make sure that I focus on when I do go out there and put my information out there. And I did do everything that you asked me to do. I have my why and my elephant, my elevator little ditty. And I have listed places that I can go ahead and try and contact. I have not done it yet because I don't think I'm in a place yet to do a death doula. But I found out a death cafe. But I found out that there is another death doula in my area. Do you think that it's okay if I contact her and see if I can maybe catch one of her either death cafes, or if I can maybe go with her when she's working with someone as part of my my end studies, instead of going to a hospice or going to, you know what I'm saying? So doing it with her.
First of all, let's celebrate Sherry, and then we're going to do a round of wins, by the way, because I want everyone to share one thing that they're really proud of, because you guys are doing it. So, but that's amazing. You did the list. And, if I heard you correctly at the very beginning, you were saying, coming in here helped you get a bit structured, right? And organized with that. And I think that is really so important and so key, because it really helps us to move. Like if we have a million things going on, but you just rattled off so many great wins that you did doing your why, having your name, like how good does that feel? So let's talk about it's just so exciting because it's starting to take form, right? So it's not just like one day I want to do this or I feel called to do that, because I know I sat with things for years that I wanted to do. And this is again, when I was a bit younger, never doing them. And you wonder why do I keep putting that off? But welcome to the ego and the human experience. But when you when I started working with those at the end of life, like it was all systems go. And I want to tell you that all cylinders fired up. I don't care if it doesn't work, if it works. Like if I'm feeling it and I want to do it, I have to go for it because you get the feedback of it. And that's what I just love so much, that you all are doing that and understanding how it works. Now let's talk about the doula. Is she or he a doula giver? A trained doula giver?
She says that she's with NIDA, right?
Okay, well, Nita's not,
but I don't know who she trained with. So I was going to find that out.
Okay, because there's no judgment here. I'm not trying to say anything about that, but there's going to be a very different level of understanding because you have 3 certifications and you're a full spectrum with a lot of medical for the non-medical. Because we've had this, how do I say it in a loving way? Well, let me just tell you what happened. So we had a doula giver hired by an assisted living home. So they were like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. This doula giver is amazing. She's helping the staff. She's helping the residents. Let's hire 2 more. And they went out and they hired 2 more doulas. And the head was like, what is going on? These other doulas have nowhere near the knowledge that you have. So they don't understand that there's very different levels, and that can become a friction point and a problem. So I'm just saying, be aware of it, just because you may not have the synergy that's the same understanding if you don't have the same clinical. That does not mean that you can't work together. It does not mean that, you can ask her if you can follow to patients, although I've not had a lot of success with families wanting more people in an environment. But hey, you can absolutely ask, but don't let that prevent you from getting started. And I also want to remind everyone, thanks, Jake, for letting me know. I really want you to all hear this, is that I had 0 end of life experience when I was given a list at hospice full of patients, disease processes, people that were dying. And they said, just call us if you have any questions. Good luck. And was I terrified? Yeah, there was a part of me that was terrified. There was another part of me that knew I was in the exact place I was supposed to be. So how it worked was when I was in a situation and said, this is what I'm seeing. What does that mean? And what can I do for that person? That's how I became a very seasoned practitioner, really stepping right into the beautiful fire, not a bad fire, the fire of trust, the fire of being there, knowing an end of life is not a medical emergency that we're talking about this way. So I want to make sure that we always anchor in here, because yes, it's going to be scary to step out. But for those of you doing, and that's why you should start with the advanced planning, the good death, good life, because you're not at the bedside. You have time to finish honing skills, getting some more bedside experience. You're never going to feel 100% ready, but this is something you can do with anybody. You can say, do you guys have a quality of life plan? Do you have an aging well plan? People are going to say, what is that? You can say, oh, do you know these are the statistics? And everyone, I mean, there's so much you can do right now as you're unfolding. Sherry, where are you located?
I'm in Illinois, northwest of Chicago, about 45 minutes.
Beautiful. I think this is so exciting. I'm so happy. All the things that you share, that's really great. Yeah, reach out to the doula and just see, what synergy's there.
I could also just go to her Death Cafe. So that's what she calls it, Death Cafe. So
yep. Okay, so she has a Death Cafe. Yeah, you're going to have a resource cafe. So death cafes, you're not supposed to, teach anything or go. And again, that's just ethically from their website. So you have something different, but there could be a lot of great synergy there. Yeah, go introduce yourself.
I hope to in the near future. I don't know when the next one is, but I'll look it up.
Good. All right, keep us posted. All right, let's do a fire round of wins. You can put it in the chat if you want. Say one thing you are proud of that you did this week, because you're all doing stuff. You're all doing stuff. And it's really important to understand that it's not always a big thing at all, that it's all these other things that move the needle. Veronica, come on in while everyone's putting wins in.
Yeah, Sherry, I have gone to another doula's death cafe. Started going back in, I think I started in November. And it's once a month. It's for an hour and a half. Started at a hotel. They wanted to start charging her. She moved it to a church. It's been very successful there. And it's been very, very interesting because there were 3 facilitators in it. One was someone from hospice. The lead start person was the death doula from a different training program, and then a grief counselor person that had a lot of experience with grief and coaching through grief. The grief counselor is moving to Canada, and I was just invited to be a facilitator after she leaves. So it's been a real wonderful thing to be involved in. And yes, my training and my background is very, very different from the other doula that's in the group. But we're still able to work together. And so that's the beautiful thing about it. My win is that I started my why statement. I've hosted my third best life over dessert, I call it. Um, my book series. My third presentation was on Tuesday, and so the name of my business is Guiding Your Light at End of Life. My email is guidingyourlight99, just to shorten it just a little bit so it's not so difficult to get to. And yeah, I'm just feeling really blessed by being here. Thanks.
You're such a blessing, always. You all are, but it's just so great. And I love that. And again, if you just keep showing up, and Veronica can attest to this, by the way, your calling will never leave you. You may leave it, or you may push it off, but it will never leave you. It'll keep showing up and coming back and saying, remember when you said you were going to take care of people at the end of life and educate, and keeping showing up, because when somebody doesn't open the door when you knock on it, that's not a no. That's the wrong way. And you will find your sweet spot. So thank you, Veronica, for that. I love that. Lots of wins. And I want you to scream out your wins. And you can write them in all caps, like my mom sometimes does in her text. She's not meaning to scream. She just has it on all text. Amy says that she's printing with her new printer. I love that. So I want to just go. Okay, Amy, you have a question. So let me get back to that in a minute. Let me do some wins here. Leanne says, walked into a beautiful senior center and the director and I hit it off, and I will be doing a cafe there. Like fire emojis. Melinda says, attended Michael Howley's Elephant in the Room Cafe on Sunday. Very helpful to experience and gave me some idea of what to expect. Yeah, beautiful. And he's a great example. Again, he's, and he says it. He's like, Suzanne, I finally said, I'm just going to do it. Like, you've been telling me how to do it a couple months ago. And he said, I'm just going to do it. And so many wonderful things happening. So just do it, guys. And that's how you learn and get better and better. Caroline said, I did my brother's Aging Well PMP. I didn't charge him, of course. I had him do a testimony. Beautiful. And how good does that feel? Because that to me is like a multiple win, because now you know how to support your beautiful brother. And also, yeah. And he got a testimony. I love that. That is great. Beverly says, learned one of my friends is newly admitted to hospice and hope to get practical experience here. Oh, thank you, Beverly. And just thank you for showing up for them and holding that space. Amy started using her new printer. Love that. Okay. Arline says, how is the training different? I believe, Arline, are you talking about from death doula training to death doula training? Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very different. I'll get back to that in a minute. Congrats, Veronica. A lot of love here for you. Lisa says, getting caught up and feeling more knowledgeable. Yeah, great. Kelly says, I attended a support group for caregivers supporting family members with dementia. Hope to join forces with them and other end-of-life education. I love that. And most intense caregiving I've ever seen. Mary Alice, I have an appointment with the director of our local LGBT LGBTQT community center. I love that. A whole new population. Wow. Where is that? Is that in Kingston? Yeah. Wow. Great. Good. Christine says, did a Healing Heart Circle group virtual event in my grief coaching space. Ooh, started planting seeds for my doula business and have Good Life, Good Death Cafe. Gorgeous. Scheduled for April 12th. Oh my gosh. Really wonderful, you guys. And Suzanne says, I was supposed to start my Good Death book club at the library in January, but between illness, restoration of the library, and horrible weather, I will now start in April. Honoring Humanity Talk, April 9th. Book club every 2 weeks. Wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And by the way, when you all have your events locked in, whether they're in person or virtual, post them in the group so we can help share. Because you never know what friends of yours are in the local area and online like Michael's that anyone can get to it and go to it, which is great support. Marla says, I was able to talk to my BFF who is 89 about how community hospice works. She was amazed in how much I knew and could help her. I love that. Doesn't that feel so great? I love it. Lisa says, I slowed down and started looking at what could work for me. So I want to say this is so important. Because if you want to speed up in your life, what I mean, speed up in your fulfillment purpose, you need to slow down. And people are like, what are you talking about, Suzanne? I thought you have to work twice as hard and write and do 2,000 more emails. No, you have to slow down and align with a different vibration of where you're really being guided. I'm telling you this. Is that when you get still and can hear that guidance voice of what you're supposed to be doing, you will speed up exponentially in how to be of service. So I love that you said slow down. That's so key. We're human beings, not humans doing. And that's what most of us are doing. All right. Suzanne says, hoping to support and repair a friend with her heart failure. Beautiful. You have the tools. Repair the friendship with. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. Show up wherever you're called to do it, right? Julia, getting caught up despite some obstacles I hadn't anticipated in early February. Yeah, good. And give yourself the grace. Give yourself grace. Life happens sometimes. Christine says, Michael was wonderful the other day. Yeah, he's a great inspiration and a great role model for all of us. And it's really important for you to see some of the doula givers that are a bit ahead of you so that you can learn from them as well. Lisa, that's a good question. I think we need to reach out to Michael and ask him if there is a video of his, but I think that it's really important for you to all see your peers doing it and then ask them what worked for them. Because it gives you're like, oh, I can do that too. And I love again, when Michael will say, he sat on it. He came to the meetings. And then he said, oh my gosh, I'm just going to do it. And he's like, right away when he did it, and he did it on, yeah. So I'll let him tell the story, but it's really great. So let me go back to 2 questions. Amy's was first, if I can find it. Hang on. Got it. I will find it. Okay. So for our line saying, what is the differences in training? So here's the positive and gray area around death doula. First of all, it's so interesting because we really started with end of life doula, and every time the media, and by the way, you're going on 16 years now, the media was like, can we call it death doula? And of course, because the media wants to get that attraction, and it's fine. Death doula is like birth doula, but they wanted to do it for that hook. So you've got this death doula movement that's global now, which is amazing that, this whole thing, it's really, again, a life doula, but that's another session. It's not a government licensure, which is a great thing. Why? Suzanne, why? If it was a government licensure, it could get reimbursed by Medicare and I would get paid for it. How's that working out for every other discipline? How's that working out for patients and families? Yeah. It would be another disaster. And you would have 12 patients to see, and you'd have an hour long, if that, and you'd have all the documentation. It would just be another check the box. The bad news is that of course you're going to get trendy when something works and it's exciting. So all death doulas started popping up, death doula training, and anyone can make a shiny website. Anyone can make an amazing looking website, use the right verbiage, not have any real background in end of life. You know, it's dangerous. But here's the thing that besides that factor, here's the thing from the very beginning is that most of the authentic original death doula trainings were created by people within the industry that had real knowledge in the industry, but they had it from different places. Henry, who did Nelda, was a social worker. So his training is going to be very social work focused, imagery, bedside, you know, sitting and everything. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I will never say that. I will just say that there's different curriculums within there. And the issue being is that we've had from hospices, from families, from medical professionals, is that we don't know what you all do. You're all called the same thing, but you're walking through the door with very different skill sets, and that's dangerous. Because one death doula that has this kind of training that can be the eyes and ears for hospice or knows disease processes or whatnot, and had a really great experience, and then they want to hire another one who doesn't have that, but expecting them to have that, therein lies a gray area that can be problematic. You saw with the assisted living home. And so that's when we developed NEDA. So I'm a founding member of NEDA and the former vice president, to come up with some sort of basic scope of practice that at least people can say, if I took this, I know at least this. But we're so far beyond that at this point, because the feedback from other trainers for your training and doula givers, and again, not ever saying one is better than the other, because I would never do that. And I think all are very needed if they're doing the right ethical thing. I think there's a few now that are not ethical, but that, let the universe take care of that. The ethical ones, they're all needed, but they're all very different. So for me, the feedback was, well, Suzanne, you know, you have all this medical training and it's not really a death doula training. This was like years ago. And I'm thinking about it and I'm saying, okay, you're right. It sort of is in a category of its own, because that's my background. So I'm a hospice nurse and oncology nurse. So I'm going to teach you disease processes. I'm going to teach you about progressions, interventions, all of the things that as a hospice nurse, I'd be teaching that family about that disease process, the physiology, and what to look for their loved one to reinforce, because that's going to make the difference. For you being able to sit with a family and be the eyes and ears for the medical team that can't be there. Here's the catch. The medical team needs to trust you. So you need to know what you're talking about for them to hire you and pay you $75 an hour, for them to take your recommendations and say, oh, she's saying there's a change that he might be going into his transition. We know she knows what she's talking about, so I'm going to go back and do this. There's no time in end of life. So I think they're all wonderful. So what I'll always recommend is that you just look at the curriculum, but I think they're all really important because we have so many people to serve, but there's a very different level of training. And so we call ourselves doula givers. So that makes a defining what this is. And maybe some people don't want all this training. They don't want all this medical, but that's what I know. And that's what I believe makes the difference, because as a failing medical system that does not have the time, you're going to be able to fill in that gap for them without time restrictions. So that's really important. And that's, again, how we want to choose it. But you can partner, and you can complement other people. And again, when we work together, that's where magic happens. Mary Alice says, this is exactly why I chose this program. After much research, I am very strong clinically as an RN, but there is so much more I am learning and understanding. Thank you, Mary Alice. I love that so much. It's such an honor. You know, we've had hospice workers like yourself say that they learn more in this training than they have in all their years of hospice. And I just think it's because after so many years and having 10 patients a day and the patients weekly and this and you know, you can put it all together and I can transfer my knowledge to you. Yeah. Suzanne says, to be very fair, I am 59 years old, so I am going through a lot of grief and anger, but I am also looking forward to finally learning how to be my best self. Yeah. Sending you a lot of love around that. Yeah, I think for me, you know, and again, what's in this training is learning from end of life patients how they found a place of peace and acceptance and letting go. to allow them to be in a better energetic space. And I know that we talk about that in the training, and I've seen the transformations from doula giver students learning about life from this training for their lives. So honor yourself where you're at and the processing. Amy, I am looking for that question, my dear. And so if you want to come on quick, because I don't want you.
I
don't want to
answered it. It was the difference between a doula giver and then a death doula. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So it's a twofer. I got to answer our lines question and kind of, we did it both, but yeah, but again, I want to always say, we want to move forward together and we want to focus on community. So if you have other doulas in your area, or like we said, grief support, they might practice a little bit differently. The important thing is to be transparent about what we offer, because you all specialize again in certain things, again, being the eyes and ears for hospice team, medical for the non-medical, advanced care planning, aging well, but there's other people that do beautiful bedside work, and their value is extremely important too. And maybe they have other things that we don't have. So always keeping the heart open, keeping it that we work together, that this is not about a competition. It is about moving forward, because that's the only way we make change. And also, isn't that the truth that we're all connected? So thank you so much for being here. I want you to email if you have any questions. Everyone, congratulations on all the amazing work. Kelly, I'm going to make sure you get that email now. Lisa, if you need help with anything, let us know. But congratulations, everyone. You're doing amazing. And I'll follow up about Michael to see if there is a recording. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget, co-working office hours are tomorrow with Christine, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great day, everybody.